In this video, I'll walk you through how to set up a Python IDE, how to comment, and how to use the print function. So just a quick note that Python will be written in VS Code in this course. However, it is possible to write Python in another IDE, forming as Integrated Development Environment, but people just call it IDE. You can write it in much more advanced ones like Funny, PyCharm, NetBeans, or Eclipse. And these ones are particularly useful when managing larger collections of Python files. So basically, an IDE is a platform through which you can use Python. Python can also be written in a simple IDE like idle, which is very simple to use. Now, many PCs or Macs will already have Python installed. To check if it is installed on Windows, search for Python in the start bar. To check for a Mac or Linux, open a terminal for Mac or the command line for Linux and type in Python space -- version. If you don't find Python, just go onto your browser and search for python.org, and this is the official website of Python. Now, when you get onto the website, don't worry, all the links are in the description below. When you get onto the website, go to Downloads, and you find a button here, and it usually will be the latest version of Python. So when you click on it, it downloads, and when you go onto your browser's downloads, you're going to find it there. And when you click on it, follow all the instructions so that you can install it. Make sure to click on Add to Path. Check the box that says Add to Path before continuing. On your computer, search for idle. Now, idle comes with Python installed, so you don't really have to worry about downloading or installing idle. And when you open idle and you just put in like simple maths, like 2 + 2 or complex maths or whatever you do, and put in enter, it gives you the results straight away. But it's not saved, it's just temporary. You just put a code line in and you press enter, and it just executes it. The computer does not save it. So to actually write long lines of code, like a proper code, we have to create a file. So go up to File, and then click on New File, and make sure that you save the file and open the file, and you would find a page like this. Now, let's just test out a simple code just to know what the version of Python that we're using is. So you could say import sys. You don't really have to know this now. We'll talk more about it later. It takes to print sys.version. And when you run it and click on Run Module, you see that it tells you what version of Python that you're using. Mine says 3.1. It doesn't matter what yours says, actually. So yeah, that's how we're going to be using idle. On your computer, search for idle. Now, idle comes with Python installed, so you don't really have to worry about downloading or installing idle. And when you open idle and you just put in like simple maths, like 2 + 2 or complex maths or whatever you do, and put in enter, it gives you the results straight away. But it's not saved, it's just temporary. You just put a code line in and you press enter, and it just executes it. The computer does not save it. So to actually write long lines of code, like a proper code, we have to create a file. Like I said earlier, this Python course will be taught using VS Code, but any other IDE like idle and others not mentioned here works. As we progress, if you're using idle, you might need to use VS Code for more complex file organization. Now, VS Code would work just like idle. Now, to install idle, go onto the visualstudio.com the official website and download Visual Studio Code on it. The link is in the description below. When you install it, go on to the extensions down here. And when you click on it, there's some important extensions that we must have. So first of all, the first one would be Python. It is published by Microsoft, and it's got lots of great features. And this is actually the core extension, so you can't skip it. So you have to look for it, Python, and download it right there. Another one that we have to download is Pylance. Pylance is also published by Microsoft, and it's fast. It's got feature-rich language support, and it's got a lot of great features. Now, another extension that we're going to download is Jupyter, Gupyter. It is published by Microsoft and enables support for Jupyter notebooks inside VS Code and much more. And the last one is Black Formatter. It is optional, but it's very, very helpful for code formatting. And it makes code consistent, and it makes it PEP 8 compliant. Now that we've done that, let's create a folder. You create a folder in your files, in your computer files, and then go up to File here and Open Folder. When you open the folder, then we can actually start the exciting part. We can start to create files. I'm going to create a file here and call it welcome, but I have to put .py. It's called an extension, and it helps Visual Studio Code to know that this is a Python file, that we're going to be writing Python inside of it. Because VS Code supports lots and lots of programming languages like HTML, CSS, and many more. So we have to put .py so that it knows that this is a Python file. Now let's run a basic code here. Let's run import system. Now again, this is we're going to cover this later, but this is just to test it out. You don't really have to know what this is now. But what this is going to tell us is the version of the Python that we're using currently. So if I run that, let's save and run it up here. Right. It tells me that my version of Python is 3.13.1. Don't worry, yours might be different, but it doesn't really matter. Okay? Now we're going to talk about another thing. We're going to talk about the print function. Now let's actually start putting in some code. We're going to start with the print function. The print function displays information for the user, and the user is the person who uses or sees the results of your code. And it displays information for the user to see. It is usually written with the print keyword and the information being displayed inside the brackets. Now to write a print function would usually go print, you could say hello world. Or you could print something like this is the print function right there. And when you run it, you can see that, let's run it. You can see that it just prints what is inside the bracket and inside the quotes. And we're going to learn a lot more about that later because those are strings, but we're going to learn about that later. So in the variable, we can store something like welcome equals to hello. Then after that, we can print welcome. And when we run that, wait 1 second. Good. So when we run that, we can see that it just prints out what is inside welcome variable. It just prints out hello. Okay? So in the variable, we can store something like welcome equals to hello. Then after that, we can print welcome. And when we run that, wait 1 second. Good. So when we run that, we can see that it just prints out what is inside welcome variable. It just prints out hello. Okay? Now, when other programmers or even you look at or go through your code, there should be an explanation to make your code easy to understand and it helps people to know what a section of your code is for. And comments are the exact match for this. Comments are only seen in your code. The user does not see it, and it has absolutely no effect on your code. The thing is, think about it like this. Python does not care what comments, or it does not even care about any comments that you put in there. So it does not even check them. And I would really, really recommend the use of comments for the readability of your code. Comments in Python can also be used to prevent the execution of some code. So if I just want to test line 3, I don't want line 2, then I can comment out line 2. If I just want to check line 2, I can comment out line 3. And comments are usually written with a hashtag. So the most basic way to write a comment is just put a hashtag in front of it. So I can put a hashtag and say, this is a welcome message. All right? But I can also put it in front here. I can also put it in front of my code like this. It still works absolutely fine. Now, if I wanted, let's say I had something like, I don't know, welcome. No, we can't do welcome. Let's say I had something like greet equals to hi. And then I said print greet. But let's say I actually don't want it to run. All I just have to do is comment it out. The computer does not care, does not check them. It just sees it as a message. So if I run that, it basically brings out nothing. It brings out nothing. Okay? Now, to add a comment that involves more than one line, I could just insert a hashtag for every line. So if I just want to say this is a multi-line comment. That is a multi-line comment. Now, alternatively, we could use a triple quote multi-line string. Now, the thing is, in Python, if you want to write a string, which is literally text inside quotes, if you want to write it on more than one line, you can put them inside triple quotes. But as long as a string is not assigned to variables in Python, Python will read the code, but it will ignore them because they're not inside a variable. Because Python does not expect a string to be outside a variable or outside a function. So this could be a great way to just use them as functions. So if I say triple quotes, which are multi-line string, I can write as much as I want in there. Let's write strings on more than one. There we go. It's a comment. It doesn't read them. I hope that you have been able to download and set up an IDE suitable for running Python. And for me, that's actually the boring part because I just want to get to the coding part. But yeah, it's very, very important. But yeah, I hope you've been able to download and set up a platform to actually run your Python, and also I hope you've learned how and why to use comments in Python, and also a little bit about the print function. In our next tutorial, we're going to delve deeper into variables and talk about data types and a little bit about print functions. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next tutorial.